What is up, First fans? Welcome back to another edition. Today we are going to be talking about NFL coaching changes and how they might affect our fantasy football players for this 2021 season. We had, 7 teams in total?
7 teams.
So what we're doing is another little series like this. We're going to do one team for each video, and we'll put one video out a day. So we'll pop this out over this next week. Mm-hmm. And today we are starting with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah. There's a lot of teams this year.
I mean, what do we even think about the Detroit Lions to begin with?
They're lacking in players right now. So it's kind of hard to see the Detroit Lions being successful this year, regardless of who their coach is. So it's a little bit hard to judge Dan Campbell. That's the new head coach. It's kind of hard to judge him this year. We're more looking into the future when they start getting draft picks.
Right.
Getting using free agency next offseason.
And that's going to be for the NFL team, though. But how does that affect our fantasy teams this year?
So Dan Campbell was actually a tight ends coach in New Orleans. So that actually could easily help TJ Hawkinson.
Right.
He was also an interim head coach in Miami, which during that, it was actually pretty successful. Not a lot of wins-losses ratio.
Which we don't care about anyways for fantasy. We just want output, production.
Right. The running game actually significantly increased when he became the interim head coach. On top of that, Tannehill went to the Pro Bowl. So that's pretty good for Jared Goff. That's also pretty good for DeAndre Swift.
Yes,
But again, Swift. Not a lot of talent on that team, so I really wouldn't rate them pretty high, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the only player that is going to have a higher relevance per their position is going to be the tight end, like you're talking about. Yeah.
Or whatever wide receiver comes into free agency. That's probably going to be a big free agency pickup.
Right. And right now, though, there's not much for wide receivers. We're going to wing it and see what happens, right?
Yep.
Dan Campbell was a tight end himself in the league, so maybe that helps for the tight end position, too. He did play 10 years. I think he's going to have that rapport with the players. He's going to know what he's talking about, so sometimes certain players respect that, and they kind of, they'll take to that a little bit more than some guy who's never played but thinks they know it all. And he is very fiery. He could get a couple of wins just based on his fire, but if he loses this team pretty quickly off, which I imagine he might, because when you don't win, bad things happen. This whole thing could go south pretty quick. Yeah. So
I'm thinking the Detroit Lions are actually going to look a little better than people think. So I don't think he's going to get fired after this year. I think they're going to give him 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I think 2 years probably for sure, huh?
Yeah.
This year's kind of a gimme. If they don't do well, they'll see what they have in Goff. Then they'll draft a quarterback, and then he'll probably have that season as well, and see if the team responds or not.
Yeah, I fully agree.
Okay, well, that's the Detroit Lions. What do you guys think? Do you like this head coach hire in Detroit? Yeah. Let us know in the comments below if you think they're going to turn it around or if you think it's going to be a pretty bad season. I think probably 4 or 5 wins, personally.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
Which isn't great in 17, but, once again, this is a learning year for them. And don't draft any players except Swift.
Or Hawkinson.
And if you can get them at a bargain, don't reach for either of them, because this offense may not be very good from week to week, which means you don't have a very good floor potentially for these players.
Right.
Other than maybe Hawkinson, you might get a decent amount, but still don't reach for any of those players.
He is also a little injury prone. He has been over the past couple of years.
That's true too.
Do put that into consideration if you draft him.
Interesting. So in the comments below, let us know what you think. Be sure to like this video for us. If you would subscribe, you'll get to have quick notifications of when this series comes up again. Like I said, we're going to be putting out one each day. So subscribe and you'll get notified right away. Okay, with all that said, Devin,
always remember to finish first.
Thank you for listening to the FantasyFootballFirst.com podcast.
Jackson throws complete. Crabtree has it for a touchdown.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Get more fantasy info and check us out at FantasyFootballFirst.com.